In this month's episode, we chat with Stephen K Amos, who is a special guest at the recent Automechanika Garage Awards, and hear instant reactions from the award winners themselves. Friend of the show Tim Shaw talks to us about his enthusiasm for the industry. We cover the recent IAAF five-a-side in support of Ben, get ready to see some top football skills and some not-so-skillful highlights. We then have an important message from the chairman of the Professional Recovery Operators Federation at Automechanika. We have a feature from NAPA, visit the recent School of Thought Springboard launch, and finish off with the third part of Glen Callum's Our Aftermarket series. First up, we talk to comedian Stephen K Amos at the Garage Awards.
Stephen K Amos, famous comedian, here at the Garage Awards. Tell us about the automotive industry and your good self.
The automotive industry, well, there are a couple of things I know about the garage industry, and one of those things is that I own a garage in my house. I think there was obviously a little kind of communication breakdown because I thought this was the Music Garage Awards at the world famous NEC, and I thought, was it Automechanika? I thought that was some sort of early noughties DJ, so I've got it all wrong. Apparently it's a room full of garage people getting awards. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Have you had to change the script then on that basis?
I've had to change the script on that basis, but hopefully they're all in a good mood and ready for it. Basically, if they don't get my jokes, I'll have to estimate what else I can do. Hey, come on!
Hey, brilliant! I like it. And of course, the final bill will be a lot dearer. Thank you for your support for the industry. We need to make this industry more enjoyable.
Well, I think so. I think the industry is one of those industries where there's a lot of space for people to come into it at an early age, different kinds of people, women in particular, and make it more inviting and welcoming.
On that note, thank you. You're a gent, and thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Good luck, Stephen.
Thank you.
Marvellous, Laura. Content Creator of the Year. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you very much. Well, to be honest with you, I'm shaking. I joined here last year. I was here as a visitor, so I was just like, nothing much. I got nominated, and I didn't expect this today at all. That's why I'm wearing my hat, casual clothes. I didn't know I'll be at the front, to be honest, but yeah.
James and Jenny from Price Garages, congratulations, Customer Service of the Year Award. Tell us what it means to you.
Honestly, that is one of the most awesome, underrated awards that you could get for a garage. Obviously, customer services is a massive thing now within the industry, and putting the customers first.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one to always try and get right. It's trying to please everybody, as they say. And all you can ever do is try your best. We all have things go wrong. It's how you handle it.
Mini Repair Shop Best Marketing Award at the Garage Awards. Congratulations. What does it mean?
It's incredible. Like 5 hours ago, we never expected this was going to happen, did we? So
yeah, we didn't know we were going to be here, to be honest. So we didn't know we was nominated.
Wow!
So, yeah,
incredible surprise today. So yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you do different?
Just good customer service, I think, and
I think we set the business out the right way to begin with, and just from the very beginning, from the image and the marketing that we do on social media and the website and everything that goes along with it, I think it just all comes together as a nice package, and obviously it's being recognised today, so yeah.
Ed, Automechanika of the Year, congratulations. What does it mean to you?
Wow, I mean, it means a lot. I mean, I didn't have my jacket on, I wasn't ready for it. I thought the other guys, there's a lot of competition out there. So.
Yeah.
It's a very proud moment, since a little boy I was going to be a mechanic. My dad was, my granddad was, and yeah, it's just years and years of hard work, and I guess it pays off.
Well, if you start when you were a little boy, it was many years ago, so if you don't mind me saying, but yeah. It's recognition for all the hard work you've put in over them years.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm very, very proud. So yeah, genuinely wasn't expecting it, and it's a bit of a shock. I had to quickly put my jacket on, run up there, and yeah, what an honour, and what a great thing. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Mark, Hillclimb Garage, Best Community Initiative, congratulations. What does it mean to you?
It means everything. So many good garages involved in this that do so much for the community. We're massively involved with our local people. We work in a lovely village. We're so happy to support everything that they do and to get this recognition. But all we do is just it's a testament to everything, to the whole team. Everybody's involved, and we try and support as many different initiatives as we can. So, spreading it across the village and across 2 or 3 charities that we support. So it's just so lovely to get this recognition.
Mark and Jane Kettle, EAC Telford, Multi-Site Garage of the Year. Congratulations. What does it mean to you?
Oh, this means the world. We've been obviously working for this for years and years and years, but it means massive amount.
Yeah, and it's testament to the staff that we have as a team and the hard work that we both put in along with them as well.
We spoke recently about the work you put in.
Yeah.
This brings it, it's all worth it now, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. Winning awards like this from a community like this is it makes millions really. And like Jane says, a testimony to our staff and our team together is really good.
Yeah, we have a great team and we have a great community, and to be part of that community, it really does boost you, and to have the ability to talk to other garage owners and be part of that is amazing, isn't it?
We've just sat together and you are totally gobsmacked at this.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked, yeah, totally. I don't know what to say.
What's it mean to you?
It means so much, to be honest, yeah. To get recognised like this, it's incredible.
It makes all them hours worthwhile, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. We've worked really hard for this, so yeah, to be recognised is fantastic. I mean, our customers will be so proud of us as well. We're an old garage. We look after our customers really well. We'll go the extra mile for them, really. And so I'm a bit nervous.
Don't apologise. Don't apologise. But
I just wasn't expecting that.
Garage of the Year, congratulations. What does it mean to you? We all see on social media, but this proves what work you do.
Yeah, I think it's amazing for the team to win awards like this, because they give me the chance to come and do stuff like this, to free my time, to enable us to do good stuff. People like Steve contributing to what we do as a business. I mean, it's amazing, and to get that recognition, that's a tough group.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
And Steve, you work with Tim. What does it mean to the staff there?
It means everything. Absolutely everything. I mean, they work hard. They're a great bunch of people. I really enjoy working with them. I've only been there since September, so I can't take any credit. But we've integrated and we've really worked well together.
And Tim, you work hard, and that has now come to fruition in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a brilliant couple of years, in terms of recognition from the industry, and for me, it's really important to recognise. Steve said he can't take any credit, but everyone in the team has to take the credit because they're the ones that do it.
Brian, Lifetime Achievement Award. What does it mean to you?
Well, means everything I've done in the past 30 years in the motor trade certainly made an impact with somebody. Yeah, try to make things better as we go along, try to do the right job every time. That's all you can do, isn't it?
Credibility for what you have achieved, and you've changed things.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Yeah, I'm trying to keep things moving forward in our little rural area. It's not easy to try to make an impact when you're miles away from the big cities, but as long as we keep plodding on, yeah, we'll get there.
Steve, Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations. I can see what it means to you. Tell us what it really...
I'm just gobsmacked, to be honest, because I've been in the motor trade 56 years, wow. 74 years old, still working, still enjoy it. Every day's a learning day. All
that toil and everything you've gone through 56 years, to know that you've been recognised like this must mean a hell of a lot to you.
I mean, I am literally gobsmacked. I've never expected anything like this ever.
Well,
it's such a beautiful thing.
The lifetime.
My wife is just going to go, wow.
3 of our Young Mechanics of the Year.
Oh, it means a lot to me. I've not even been in the trade a year, so this is absolutely mental to me. Crazy.
What's it mean to you, Rima?
I'm a bit lost for words myself, but it's nice to have a bit of recognition.
Tim, we just spoke off camera.
Yes.
You said the car industry at the moment is an interesting place.
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Oh, I don't know. I think luckily at the moment we're weeding out a lot of the people that have bought cars to make money, which I'm very pleased to see those boys and girls leave. Because, I've spent years now and people have been pushing me for information on which cars to buy, what should they buy and what should they do to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm fed up of being surrounded by, although, I'm sure Fuzz would argue, it's great to have people that love cars around you. I agree with that, but I want people who truly love cars opposed to people people who are just buying them to make the money and sitting on them and leaving them in their garages or putting them into expensive storage. So I find it an interesting place because at the moment I have an obsession, and I think a lot of people watching this will be with cars, and an obsession of what I can get for a certain amount of money. Yes. And I'm loving the fact at the moment, and I feel sorry for some of the people who are selling them, that there's a lot out there. It's a buyer's market at the moment. There's a lot of interesting stuff coming on the market, and that once again I feel like I'm 15 again, looking through Auto Trader and just excited about what's out there.
But doesn't it keep your interest in the market as a whole, rather than it being a box? You know, it's a car. This is it. This is what I want to know. Yeah. It's that knowledge, thirst for knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, it very much is that. Yeah, it is. But it does worry me. I'm concerned slightly about. There was an obsession. I sometimes wonder whether it's just my obsession peaking. It never will, and it'll never end. But I surround myself with lots of car guys, and I think there's a lot of insecurity at the moment, just with regards to what's really happening out there. Parts are expensive to get into the country now. That's often in the last couple of years I've struggled with that for Car SOS. Yeah. A lot of parts we're paying a lot more than we should do. The prices of to get over here. I'm lucky in that, for example, my Mustangs that I built, I got the stuff shipped over to the UK just before it rocks it in price. But selfishly speaking, that's good for me. For other people out there who are doing up classic American cars, I don't like the idea of anything happening which will put people off rolling up their sleeves, getting their hands mucky, and getting involved in rebuilding classic cars. Because in the same way that when you're at school and they teach you about trigonometry and you're thinking, why the hell are you teaching about this nonsense and long differential equations or whatever it is, and you think, why am I learning this? You realize later on in life that the reason you were learning that stuff is because it unlocks a part of your brain that you'll use every single day that you never know was being unlocked because at the time it was just annoying. And I think classic cars do the same thing, in that if you rebuild a classic car yourself, you can then very easily turn and use those skills in construction or in fixing things at home or in fixing floors or whatever it is. I think you can train these things. You know, classic cars for me unlock the ability of my hands.
Well, one thing from the back of that is we seem to send people into other sectors quite easily. Yeah. We struggle to attract people from other sectors into this industry, though, don't we?
Well, I'm hot into this, and I've been asking a lot of people here who run garages how are they finding apprenticeships and bringing new people in. And I feel for the first time today, since being at Automechanika, I've spoken to more people who haven't said, "Oh no, it's terrible. Oh, we're really struggling." I've actually a real relief for me is to have met some college tutors who have said, "We're rammed out. We've got young people trying to get into the business now," which I think is a wonderful thing. It felt like there was a bit of an interesting time about 5 or 6 years ago. I felt like there weren't many young people getting into classic cars, but I feel like 90s are back in now. Yeah. I'm seeing people with Lupos and all sorts of cars that to me are still new cars, but I'm seeing 18-year-old, 19-year-olds drive around in these cars which to me are modern cars, but as classics. And I'm really pleased to see the fact that young people have found a gap for themselves in the classic car world. Cars you can still work on and you can still fix. And is maybe that and the work that the industry's been doing has been encouraging young people to roll up their sleeves and get apprenticeships. I'm hoping we're turning a page on that. I really do.
Talking of turning, this industry will always need spanner turners when it's on the tools. Yeah. We need to continue that, don't we?
Absolutely. It's crucial. It really is. And as I said, not just for the cars, but for their skills later on in life in many other ways. And I as I said, I hope that it is the beginning of the end of that concern to some extent. Although, look, 50% of the people, no, 70% of the people that I've been speaking to today about this have said we are struggling for apprenticeships. But for the first time, it's not 100%.
Okay, that's progress.
Which is progress. So if this time it's 30% are saying, yeah, we've got apprentices coming in. If next year it's 40% and it continues to grow, once again, it'll be considered to be a great place to work. And I've worked with cars since I was 12. Yeah. And I think emotionally, mentally, physically, there are so many benefits to working with cars that you can use those skills right across life. I try and encourage any young people, boy, girl, whatever it is, to work on cars.
And you've utilised that. Obviously, you've got a bigger platform than most, but it's not about the platform for you, is it? It's about education. It's about treating people correctly.
Yeah. It's about, do you know what it's about? It is about that, yes, but that's almost secondary. The most important thing to me is about enjoying your damn life.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Because the only thing I give a what about it, the only thing I care about in my life is, did I enjoy today or did I not? That's all I care about. Yeah. Because I've been very lucky in my privileged career that I've had, and I don't know how the hell I've managed it, but with Disney and with Channel 4 and all the different people I've worked for, and with Fifth Gear and Car SOS and all the car shows, I'm very lucky to have met very, very, very wealthy people and people who aren't very wealthy, but a broad cross-section of society. And I've noticed you can't simply say, oh, he's a billionaire, he's happy. She's a multimillionaire, she's happy. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. No.
It simply comes down to, I maintain, did you enjoy today? And for me personally, working with cars and working around cars means that I do enjoy my days, and that's all I care about. So I would like to encourage more young people to enjoy their days and enjoy their life and be happier people and better husbands and better wives and better dads and better mums or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
And I think the car industry, for me, in my experience of life, has delivered that.
And I think if more people had that spirit and that drive, because it's not a boring industry.
No, hell no. Hell no. You'll never get to the end of it. I mean, there's so much stuff I don't know. I watch, Johnny with his late break show, and I watch him go around a car, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know that. Mate, I did know that, but I've forgotten that. And did you know that, or did you research that? And there's so much to learn in this business, and I just don't want it to go in the same way that Fuzz worries about like vintage cars and stuff, and how the fact that there aren't young people these days wanting vintage cars, which is my next mission. I want to encourage, like, I was watching I don't know if you've seen it, I was on TikTok this morning just watching it because I'm still trying to desperately stay young, and I saw these two young boys who were doing crooning to rap music. You probably haven't seen it yet. You'll bump into it in the next couple of days, and it's the coolest thing. I was like, mate, you have nailed it there. And I want to see young kids of today dressing like they did back in the 30s and 40s, driving vintage cars. Because here's the thing, right? We did something which didn't make it on an episode of Car SOS, where we rebuilt a very old car from the 1920s, and I took a young chap who was maybe 21 out down the streets of Blackpool, and I said to him, what do you drive normally? And it was something like a Mark II Golf or something like that, whatever it was. It was in his mind a head turner, a car that girls, which is what he wanted, would look at. We sent him down the street in a 20s car, and he got out and he went, oh my God, I'm getting one of these. This is the one. This is the car that everyone just looks at and goes, you've got an identity, you're cool.
Yeah.
And what I'm hating about what's happening to vintage cars, and Fuzz and I have talked about this, is that the value of them is just descending into nothing.
Yeah.
They're literally, because the audience of people that wanted them are dying or are no longer with us.
Yeah, and a lot of the youngsters don't understand what a vintage car is, and that's what, if it wasn't vintage cars, where we are today.
Yeah, exactly. But they're the simplest engineering on the planet. You can literally pop the bonnet up and go, all right, I can see how you work. There's no electronics in there. You can see every single moving part pretty much. It's not a problem. Then you need a couple of spanners to get to anything else you can't see.
You can't remote diagnose that one.
Say again?
You can't remote diagnose that.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's no OBD on that.
It's fair to say, Tim, we don't work in a boring industry.
No.
More people need to come in to enjoy it.
It's one of those things where you'll never know the mistake you made if you didn't enter it, because you won't be in it.
But go and make the mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
And learn from them.
Yeah, and learn from them. Yeah.
As always, Tim, thank you.
Yeah, nice one. Good talking to you, man.
Cheers, brilliant.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools, and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online, or call.
Rachel, the IAAF five-a-side day, what does this mean to Ben to have the automotive aftermarket here?
Oh, it's amazing to have the support of the automotive industry and the IAAF. Without the support of the industry, we just can't continue to provide the life-saving support that we provide to the industry and its people.
And to see so many different companies here as well must really be emotional for you.
Do you know, it's really lovely because it really brings to life the scale of the industry and the diversity and where people have come from. It's just what I actually also love the fact, and I'm from a sporting background, just how sport can bring people together. I'm so looking forward to seeing how, because it's such a competitive industry.
Yes.
So looking forward to seeing how this all plays out.
It may not bring us some of the teams together. It'd be interesting what goes on.
Totally. I mean, the fact that we're also getting in the mix, playing our part, getting involved, I think is great. It's the first time Ben would have done something like this, so I'm really thrilled to be playing a part and actually getting on the pitch myself.
Yes, and of course the donation will make a big difference to Ben.
Of course, and again, we can't continue to change lives, save lives without support and funds from the industry. So you know that for every £1 that's raised today and the proceeds going to Ben, we're truly heartfelt thank you to the IAAF for their support.
You do an amazing job. So from Garage Talk, keep going and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you too.
My name's Mark Field. I'm the IAAF Chief Executive. Welcome to the IAAF five-a-side football tournament at the Bet365 Stadium, home of Stoke City Football Club. Looking forward to a great afternoon of five-a-side tournament played in the fun spirit, and hopefully we'll raise some money for our industry charity, Ben. And thank you to everyone who has supported the tournament. Thank you to all our players, our coaches, and obviously our spectators as well. Big thank you to Garage Talk for supporting us as well, the Impression team, and everyone at IAAF.
I'm Mark Blinston, and I'm joined by
Ian Boyle from Hella.
I should say I'm from BM Cats, if you don't know, and we are here to watch one heck of a game between
Hella and UASA.
And I think we've both got an interest in this game, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, because we'd just like to see the Hella team have a shot on target, because I don't think they've managed it so far.
Okay, I'm particularly looking forward to seeing Justin Little.
Yes.
If you can see on the pitch at the moment, maybe not, he's a substitute, number 11.
I
no
tell
hair.
you what, takes no prisoners,
was
does
that
he?
Neil? Was that Neil?
That was Neil, yeah. Do you see that?
That was outrageous.
Tell you what, he's like that in the office though.
Yeah, I can
he's
imagine.
a nightmare.
I can imagine. Does he get booked in the office?
Completely,
red
yeah.
cards?
We have got some yellow and red cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what a turn!
I
On
tell
the
you
sixpence.
what, look at that.
Little
He's
step
got it.
over as well. Shot! Oh, great effort.
Not on target though. I was a bit worried actually that we'd got a team of stewards out on the pitch, because obviously they're all dressed in orange.
I see that point exactly.
Yeah, I thought there was some kind of rogue stewards.
Right, what's going on in the match now? So, a little bit of box play.
I don't think we've had a goal yet, Mark.
No, disappointingly so.
Yeah.
I think Hello have come the closest with that lovely move early doors. Oh, that's a nice flick. Good run round the back. They're in.
Oh,
it's a lovely goal.
It's a goal for UASA. My life.
Yeah, I mean, that was well worked.
It was.
So, Ian, why aren't you playing today?
Well, because I was determined to spend some time with you, sat with a mic, rather than going out my fellow colleagues on the pitch.
Got to remember, folks, everyone today here is a winner.
Yeah, everyone's a winner.
UASA, one of the pre-tournament favourites, and Tranter's happy now. He's clapping.
Was that a smile?
A little smile, but he's giving some instructions to.
Okay.
I mean, they've got a big squad here.
Yeah, haven't they?
It's full of youth and Justin.
20 players.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you've got a budget like UASA,
well, that is true. You
can afford to bring team bus, the whole works, everything.
Yeah.
But I assume.
Talking of a large marketing budget, I did notice your very dapper BM Cat tracksuits this morning.
Well,
thing of beauty they were.
Thank you very much. They're multi-use as well, to be honest with you. So we can use them at any.
Well, I was going to say, when are you going to use them again?
any industry sporting events that we have to attend.
Okay.
So I don't know. Golf, or like as a pre-warm up to a volleyball match or something like that.
Yeah.
That is
Steve
a nice
Fox, absolutely.
That is risky.
That was
personally, I tried that in my last
game. An
game.
Interesting back heel.
I tried the exact same thing in a game earlier on, and it cost us a goal. Would you believe it? Fortunately, for those who didn't see it, I did score 2 in that game. One with my left, one with my right.
Steve Fox, and he's tried another back heel, and he's
running around in circles.
Yeah. Well, that's what a fox does.
So, obviously, you're following Hella all. Yes, I did. I just got that. Very good, Ian. Very good. Same time next week.
I tell you what, here a week.
It's multi-ball. It's a multi-ball.
And there's 2 balls on the pitch. I think it's all over.
Clarice are fuming on the other pitch because that's delayed their game. And by the anger that I just saw, I think they might be losing.
How many are we at now? Is it 4?
4 or 5, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it does help.
To be fair, we lost count in the first game as well.
I mean, I'm looking at UAS. It does help. They've got assistant manager, full-time manager, probably with a tactical board inside that puffer jacket on a hot day.
I noticed they were looking at some stats earlier as well.
Yeah,
which
I believe
was a bit of a surprise.
I think they went on Championship Manager and had a look at everyone's playing stats. Have Hella had any sort of pre-tournament friendlies or?
No, definitely not.
No.
We I don't think they've ever seen each other before, let alone played with each other previously.
And what I would say is, if you're a fan of the UASA five-a-side football team, this highlighted reel will be available on cassette, video and DVD.
Yeah.
Signed by the pair of us.
In all good charity shops very soon.
What I'm seeing here is that we're playing a little bit of UASA time.
Yeah, I think so. We normally score at least 4 goals in the last 23 seconds of a game.
And the referee's blown.
Yeah, the referee's put us out of our misery.
So thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. We really hope you've enjoyed joining us.
Alternative commentary.
Exactly. We virtually described the game.
See you on Sky next year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much.
we've known each other from the tow show for a few years. You have some very powerful messages from the recovery industry. You're now trying to join up with the automotive industry. Tell us why.
Well, it's quite simple, really. The automotive industry has been clicking along quite well, but we've had no profile here. We've had no input. And we are all part of the same automotive industry. And in actual fact, we're a vital part of the automotive industry. When you consider that rescue and recovery industry was spawned from the garage industry, who have always been well represented amongst the automotive industry, yet we've gone off into our own little silo. Yeah. And like my original video showed about Thunderbirds, we're like a guilty secret. Everybody needs us. We're there every single day. You hear on the radio in the morning, the police have closed the motorway because of an incident. And then they say the police have opened the motorway. But the police haven't opened the motorway. We've opened the motorway. But no one actually understands that. And it's partly our fault because we've done a poor job of marketing ourselves, of profiling ourselves.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I don't think people realise the independent recovery industry is the largest part of it, isn't it? And I think that gets lost in it, message.
The independent vehicle recovery industry is all of it. In the past, we've had motoring organisations or whatever claiming to be the fourth emergency service or claiming to be this, that and the other. But the fact of the matter is, and none of them could function without the essential investment, the private investment, our specialist equipment. Once again, going back to my Thunderbirds concept, they spent billions creating something that no one... But we do that all the time. As the automotive market changes, as there are generational changes, we've had to move with the times so that we can respond to all of the changes and do what we do. Clear the motorways, go out to fatal accidents, support the police, serious crime, serious terrorism. We are there 24/7. We're there, and without us, none of the rest of them could do their jobs.
And of course, a message needs a solution. What do you want from the garage industry? Tell the garage industry now what you would like from them.
What I think we need is that instead of working in the silos that we do, look, they've brought out electric vehicles. They've had a massive impact on the garage industry.
Yeah.
Okay. And they've had a massive impact on the vehicle recovery industry. We should be getting together and correlating the impacts. There should be an impact assessment for both of us, and together, along with the tyre industry, because, you know, we have got that partnership with them, and the three of us can create a powerful lobby, not a trade union, not activists, but a professional communication platform to say, we need an impact assessment, we need you to assess the economics of it, and are our industries ready for electric vehicles? In fact, are you ready for electric vehicles?
Because it's not actually electric vehicles, you're about the safety, isn't it, which is the key element here?
Well, the thing is, of course it's the safety, and when I had a meeting with the National Fire Chiefs Council, and I've had and a meeting with Roads Police, when they're saying to us about fire blankets, when they're saying to us about fire containment units, when they're talking, I'm saying, hang on a minute, the common denominator here is fire, and we're a rescue and recovery industry. Yeah. So how come all of a sudden we're part of the fire service? And so no one's taken that into account. No one's actually taken into account how electric vehicles are so much heavier. So the ramps that are built in garages, they've got to have heavier ramps.
Yeah.
The fire risks, you can't put one out with a fire extinguisher off the wall, can you?
No.
So, where's the impact assessment, the risk assessment's been done with that? And what's been quick to happen is the insurance, who have been hit by the premiums and the returns on the premiums they put out, their premiums will be rising, and garages will be hit with higher premiums. The recovery industry is also already has been. Yeah, and so those are the things we need to get together and talk about and go, look, this is how it's impacted us. What do we want? How can we change it? And we won't change it with one single voice. We'll change it as the automotive industry going to government and saying, this is how this has impacted us. What are you going to do about it?
How can people get hold of you, Richard? Tell people how they can get hold of you.
Professional Recovery Operators Federation is a communication platform, and over the last 5 or 6 years we've been able to build up good contacts. I mean, later on today, the CEO of National Highways is coming specifically here to meet me to talk about the strategic road network, to talk about things that we do. We need to be getting around the table and speaking to the RMI, speaking to the SMMT that are here, and I'm hoping to speak to them later on, because they're doing deals with motoring organisations, giving away free breakdown rescue recovery, and they're giving away something, and this is very important, something they can't deliver, only we can, and they have no right at all. It's like saying, bring your car here, we'll give you 3 hours free labour. Wouldn't be able to do that, would you?
No.
So why can they give away what we do?
Yeah.
Our investment, you've seen, the average cost of a vehicle, a recovery vehicle, it's 143 grand.
Yeah.
And that's just for a standard one. When you go out to the stuff, the heavies in that, you're talking about 500,000, 750 grand's worth of investment. That is private investment and is used, pay on use. So when it's standing there, we don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Same thing as when the garage is shut.
Yeah.
Right. And so all of those things need to be not done in an activist way, but make sure that we can communicate the problems that we're going to have, and in the long term, understand that they're not sustainable. And what would you do without us?
Well, I mean, you've mentioned Liverpool and London in your presentation. How did the roads get open again? The bus didn't just disappear on 7-7. The car last week in Liverpool didn't just disappear. You went in and collected it, your industry.
But also the effect, if you live in Liverpool, it was a Liverpool operator. So if you live in London, right, or you're a VRO that was in London. Now I know the VRO that went out to them, and I spoke to them. It was a long time ago, but I spoke to them afterwards, and I went, what was it like having that bus, moving it? Yeah. What was it like for the people? And people don't understand that it has an effect. If you've got that bus, when you saw it on the screen, you immediately...
Yeah.
So imagine having it in your yard for 2 months, walking past it every single day.
Mentally, it's going to have an effect as well. I don't think people realise the effect mentally that recovery operators have. And also the stories that we hear about recovery operators in dangerous situations. If you're another recovery operator, it's got to affect you.
It affects us all. And the other thing, which went hand in hand with my campaign for safer roads and red lights, which was successful.
Yes.
Is that 24/7, we're out on the motorways, we're risking our lives. We risk our lives.
Yeah.
If you break down and you stand at the side of the motorway for a minute, it's enough already, isn't it?
Yes.
And we're out there all the time, but we do it, like Grant Chap said, we risk our lives and we do it 24/7. We continue to do it, but imagine the impact we could have if we supported each other as an automotive industry, not working from silos.
But I'm particularly aware of the vital role that the 600 or so independent operators play across the length and breadth of the UK. You're the backbone of the industry, and you do your job, often in difficult circumstances, with great professionalism. To the stranded motorists you rescue, you are, in a very real sense, the fourth emergency service.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools, and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online, or call.
Quality parts to keep you moving. That's the NAPA way. GPC, the parent company of NAPA, has an expertly diligent global sourcing team dedicated to finding and vetting the highest quality suppliers around the world. They guide the process from procurements to shipment and beyond, ensuring that all NAPA suppliers continue to meet the standards of excellence set by GPC. NAPA is committed to the procurement of high-quality aftermarket products that meet or exceed the performance of the original equipment. Some NAPA products are even made on the same production lines as the OE and used by the championship-winning NAPA Racing UK team. Before a supplier is selected, they must pass a series of comprehensive audits to determine the manufacturing capacity, product quality, and working conditions of the factory. For example, the quality audit spans everything from product design to logistics to calibration, while the social audit reviews critical environmental factors, like health and safety procedures, working hours, and wages. Only those that pass GPC's stringent audits are chosen, and this process is repeated annually to ensure the quality standards of NAPA are continuously upheld. Products are then rigorously tested throughout production and inspected before shipment. If the original part is subjected to 1 million cycles, the NAPA part will undergo 1 million cycles as well, and often more. Only true quality makes it into a NAPA box. And it's not just what's inside the box, it's how that product gets delivered. Each part is expertly catalogued and cross-referenced for your peace of mind. Dispatched from our nationwide, state-of-the-art distribution centres and stocked at over 1,000 locations for collection or delivery. The NAPA network has the parts you need when you need them. Join the NAPA network today.
We recently attended the inaugural Springboard meeting, a new initiative by School of Thought. Julie and Dave welcomed some of their new Springboard directors and explained how they can help shape and hopefully one day take over the good work that they do. The aim of the initiative is to help build better and smarter connections with young people, highlight opportunities on social media and beyond, and promote automotive as a sector of choice. If you know an enthusiastic young person who's passionate about the automotive industry, get in touch with School of Thought.
I started off in the automotive industry as an apprentice at a dealership, working my way up to become a technician there, MOT tester. Then I was more interested in the business side of things, so I got an opportunity at DC Lomas Limited with Dean, who's also really passionate about the future of the industry. I joined Springboard because I think the skill gap can only get worse, so it's good to get young people into the industry, keep everyone engaged, and I'm looking forward to getting involved in it in whichever way I can.
I'm excited to become a Springboard member because I work in apprenticeships and I think they're not used enough, and they are such a good thing for a company to be using for upskilling or bringing in new people into a company. And they teach people so many things, from kind of gaining high-level qualifications to their soft skills, and it's something that businesses aren't really utilising enough. So being able to implement that in something and push it further, I think is a really, really good idea. And I think it's super important that we're not pushing kids towards college or traditional routes, especially with automotive, and showing that you can go into HR or marketing. There's so many other routes than being in a workshop.
I'm here as a School of Thought ambassador, so I've been involved for a couple of years, but I'm interested in what the next steps of School of Thought is going to develop into. So it's nice to see, like I mentioned, the youngsters that are giving up their time to come and give some insight on where they'd like to direct it.
Who do you think we're talking to?
It's a broad range. I think a lot of children at primary school age have already got an idea of what they'd like to do. It's often what their parents do or what they think they'd like to do from books, right up until those school leavers. But even people that aren't in the industry now, there's a gateway in all the time, so it really is broad.
I want to join a Springboard team because I want to create a lot of change. As someone who's in university, I know how important it is to get work experience before you get out there, and seeing the skills gap, at least with Springboard, they want to change that, and I think that's so important to me, so that we can help a lot more garages get more apprentices, and apprentices get that skill that they need.
Hi, I'm Janet Kamara. I'm currently the communications intern at LKQ UK and Ireland, but I have a really extensive history in social media, media studies and photography.
What have you learned about the industry, and what skills have you brought to the industry from all that?
I think what I've most importantly learned is that it's not what I thought it was, because before I started working in the industry, I thought it was extremely male dominated. I thought that, I thought there was only one target audience, but coming in here and learning about the likes of Louise Baker and Dean is amazing, because you're not only just seeing that it's not just one type of person or one track mindset. There's so many people that are within the industry and so many people that you can learn about, and there's so many jobs out there to do with automotive industry that I never even thought of. And knowing that I can help with the change with what I'm doing here at LKQ is amazing. And the skills I've learned from using different software like Adobe, CapCut and Canva, and creating my own posters, helping with any people that are within our company that are raising money for charity, using those skills to help broaden their agenda, and also how we have PAVE here at LKQ, learning how to expand that ED&I agenda so that everyone who is not just a part of that target audience that I first thought know that they also can have a viewpoint here. And whilst I'm here, I want to show that it doesn't matter where you come from, you can get into the automotive industry, and there's so much to learn. And it's not just about cars. I've learned that there's a heart to the automotive industry. Everyone knows each other and they all care about each other. And a lot of companies have the agenda where they want to change the viewpoint of automotive industry. They don't want it to just be about the garages. They want to show about everything to do with it and the future of the automotive industry.
Welcome to our Aftermarket. My name's Glen Shepherd. I'm Director at Glen, Callum Associates Limited. I'm going to be interviewing some of the Aftermarket's top brass with a focus really on looking at the careers that are available within the supply chain. Over the next few episodes, we'll be talking to Neil Grant, Steve Jarnett and also Nigel Duffield, all of whom have progressed within the industry to senior roles. So it's going to be interesting to see their specific stories and how they've progressed their own careers with a view that we're promoting aftermarket careers and opportunities that exist now, and also the opportunities that will be available in the future too. Welcome everybody, and welcome to the third and final interview with Steve Jarnett, Commercial Director of Cortico today. The reason we're conducting these interviews is to try and raise the profile of the automotive aftermarket. We've heard about, and it's been well publicised, about the lack of technicians and mechanics coming into the industry. But on our side of the aftermarket, our aftermarket, there is a totally different business world going on. So we'd like to talk to Steve today and find out a little bit more about his specific journey, along with exploring a little bit more about what's happening in the future and the type of roles and the type of careers that are going to be available. So, Steve, welcome.
Thank you for letting me speak today.
No worries. And first question is, just describe to people that are perhaps not familiar with the automotive aftermarket in the independent sector that we work in. Could you just explain a little bit about the sector that you're involved with?
Yeah, so in terms of the parts that we supply, or this industry supplies, so it's for once you've, let's say, bought a car from a dealership, and then after a number of years you may decide then to take it to an independent garage, and that they would get their parts from a parts distributor or a specialist distributor, and those are the people that myself and other people in the industry supply. So it's access to aftermarket parts. In a lot of cases they'll be the same as the original parts that went on the car, but there's obviously other people in the industry that do, let's say, a copy part, which they'll say is like an OE quality. We'd sometimes dispute that as Cortico as an original manufacturer, but ultimately they're fit for purpose, and obviously for some people's budgets, if they're looking for, they want to have the original, if they've got a really old car, they might be happy having something that's a copy part.
So in terms of our industry then, before we sort of explore your specific journey, and obviously we've known each other a long time, what type of roles and what type of opportunities do Cortico see sort of throughout their business? So for example, you know, you must have supply chain, you must have logistics, you must have procurement, those type of careers that are available, you know, that are probably non-technically involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, if I sort of start from my responsibility is commercial, and I've got a bias towards that side. So we'd say nothing ever happens till somebody sells something. But you can't sell something unless you've actually got the product. So there'll be a number of product people there. Some people may be in a product development role. Some people will be in a category management role where they're maintaining a category that already exists to make sure that they've got full coverage and they've got all of the data that sits behind that. And there's another point as well, all the data managers. So you've got all of that to go on to TechDoc or other systems. We use SAP from our side, but SAP is basically the ERP system that we use, but you still have to have all that catalog data as well. So even within the ERP systems, then you've got all the finance people that sit behind all that, and then you said replenishment, so replenishment teams, sourcing teams, you know, how we buy from the factories and then bring that in. Then you've got the operations team. So I know I'm going to forget somebody and someone's going to call me up and say, you didn't mention me. Operations, and you've got all aspects of that in terms of not just the warehousing and, you know, logistics. You've got quality management, and quality is a huge part of what we do within Freudenberg, health and safety, all that. So, you know, there's a whole plethora of different things that you can get into. An example of that is, if I give a shout out to a guy that used to work for me, Dave Cable. So I was just at his wedding actually on Friday, which was cool. But he started with us actually in the warehouse. He was backpacking, so he did a couple of summers with us. Really, really cool guy. And we said, yeah, you know, come on, we can't backpack forever. And then he came and worked for us initially in customer service, but then we found out that he had a real flair for quality management, and we gave him more responsibility for that, some more training, and he's now the quality manager for Europe. So, and he moved out to Germany literally the day we went into lockdown, which was terrible timing. But it was when he was over in Germany that he met his wife. And 4 years later, he gets married on the last Friday.
And his wedding.
So super cool. So he's had a really, really good journey, and he's again going to go off and do even bigger and better things in the future.
Well, that's really interesting. Obviously, I'd like to talk more about the future, you know, later on, because there are lots of things, lots of trends that we're seeing as a specialist recruiter in the sector. But let's turn back to you, you know, your own specific career, because we've kind of known each other for about 100 years now. And, you know, back in the day, you know, when you were a, you know, sort of parts representative, you know, based down in the south. Just tell us a little bit about, you know, your journey from where you kind of started and how you've sort of progressed, and you know, because I think what it does to the people watching this and the people that we're trying to talk to is it's a real life demonstration of someone that's come through the ranks within the industry and what our industry can do for individuals like yourself and other people coming into the sector.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't ever, if you could go back and talk to, you know, 18-year-old Steve saying that I'm doing what I'm doing now, like, you're joking. So initially I wanted to work in like a pit crew for a race team. So I trained as a mechanic. But yeah, getting into motor racing is tough. And unless you've got probably the right connections, you know, networking is really important there. And I kind of fell into the aftermarket by accident, because there's a lot of people do, and then when you're in it, you're on a piece of elastic. You can never get away from it. But the role that I was looking for, I needed to go and do another qualification, and the two guys that I was going to be doing it with, they changed their mind. One of them went back to working for his dad as a painter and decorator, and the other one went to do forklift trucks for whatever reason. So I was kind of left in no man's land a little bit. And then a job came up with a company called CAFCO, which is now Motor Parts Direct, I think. I went there as just a parts advisor. So two weeks out in the stores, learning where everything was, and the next thing I was having second-hand starter motors thrown at me from mobile mechanics. So that was a bit of a baptism of fire. But I loved working there. Worked at their Bracknell branch, which was run by John. He's still there, I think. Shout out to him if he's there. Good guy. And just ended up running that parts counter, which was super. I think it was the busiest retail counter that they had in the whole of CAFCO, and it was great fun because it was really fast paced. You had no time to breathe. So as part of what I was doing there, John encouraged me to you should get into sales. So I went for a sales role, and then again by accident fell into an assistant manager's role. Then I moved to another company which is owned by Weber, and I worked there for a while. That was really cool. Again, kind of first taste of working for a manufacturer. Then back again into to All Parts. Worked there for a bit. And then became the Parts Alliance. Then kind of like in a roundabout way, I ended up seeing a guy called Rod Edwards, who used to be our sales rep when I was at Weber for the Lucas stuff, and offered me a job at Lucas, which was fantastic. Lucas was such a big brand then, and that was a huge opportunity for me. And Rod was a great mentor as well for me. Fortunately, he passed away last year, which was really sad, because he'd been kind of like a father figure and mentor to me in the industry. A lot of people will know him, and I said at his funeral about how I think I spent the rest of my life trying to be like Rod Edwards. I've not really done as good a job as he would have done, but that's a great thing to try and emulate. Absolutely. Because he was a consummate professional. So it was good to have guidance from him. So I worked for him there, and then also another company, and then he actually said, I was looking to move on. He'd just moved on, and he said, "Oh, you want to go and talk to Cortico?" And I was kind of, "Who the hell are Cortico?" And he said, "Oh, the part of Freudenberg and everything else." So that's how I ended up at Freudenberg, working for Martin Jones. And that was nearly 20 years ago. So
in terms of your sort of journey then, and sort of training and skills, what do you feel you've gained from working within the aftermarket, and what do you enjoy about this sector so much?
So I think the thing that's cool about the aftermarket is it's very down to earth. And as long as you do what you say you're going to do, so if you're you just you're professional, you sort of meet expectations in terms of the things that you're going to deliver on. There's opportunities for you, because the motor trades, it's rough and ready. So you can't mess people about. And particularly with the garages coming from a distribution background, almost like an apprenticeship. If you haven't got the parts there in 30 minutes, they're like, "Where's my stuff?" It's fast paced. So you've got to be ready to, if necessary, have that mindset that if someone's in trouble, you're going to help them out. You're going to jump in a van yourself and go and sort it out if you have to. And that's really good grounding to when you move up towards a supplier. So I was really surprised the first time when I went to Lucas. Great people working there, but I was also a little bit surprised that the pace was a little bit kind of laid back, and I thought that there was a little bit of distance between the reality of what happens in a parts distributor on a daily basis and that kind of the OE kind of mentality, if you like, which was I just felt it was a little bit detached. And that was a real help for me because having done that work, right from the bottom up, it gave me empathy with those guys about, what their expectations were. So that helped me deliver on that. So that was kind of cool in terms of having that background.
So coming through the parts distributor, mechanic, parts distributor, supplier network, OEM, producer, that's been sort of your chain really within the last sort of 20 odd years, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it was, I think it's it's a constant learning journey. And if you can just soak up that knowledge from other people and be prepared to, go with the change and everything else, then there's cool opportunities. Because I joined Cortico as just a area sales guy, and then I had an opportunity to go to be sales manager, and did that for a number of years. And then again, just by pure chance, I guess, was, Martin was going to move to India to set up Cortico out there, and I didn't really get a lot of choice there. I was voluntold. That just said, look, he's going to India, like, get on with it. So and again, it was a vote of confidence that they felt that I could do it, and that was 2016. So and it was a really cool opportunity. But you're always learning. That's the main thing.
And what about the the space that we work in? I mean, what do you enjoy? Obviously, from my own journey, it's the people. We see a lot of characters and have done over the years. You've mentioned, Rod Edwards and one or two other people that we kind of jointly know. What does it for you within our industry? What sort of makes you get up in the morning and come to work and enjoy the industry that we're in?
Yeah, I think it's interesting you mentioned about characters. I saw someone at an event a while ago, and because a lot of people have been saying, all the characters have left the industry, and I thought, has that actually happened, or is it now we're the characters? So it's just evolved. I think that it's important in terms of the people, and it's a very people-orientated industry still, and particularly in terms of what I do within Cortico. My responsibility is I get a huge kick out of developing people. I've been really lucky that I've had some cool people that have worked for me, and it's made it very easy to develop them. So Dave is a good example. Started customer service, and then now quality manager Europe. Eva worked for me as an LPM. She now works as it's like business development or business strategy for the GI, general industry guys. Jana was working for me as a local product manager. She's now joined the data management team. She's moving over to Germany in the summer. There's like 3 examples right there of people that have come through, done their thing. We've supported them, and now they've gone on to do other things, and that's been cool.
And do you see, when you see sort of the next generation coming through, does it take you back to the days that you were working behind the parts counter and you can see the potential in someone sort of grasping what we're about?
Yeah, well, I think that's the potential is the key, because if you've got someone that has got that enthusiasm, and there was a really cool story about this guy. He was on one of the TED Talks, and he was talking about he was on a plane. He's flying somewhere, and this person next to him said, "Are you successful?" And he said, "Well, I think so." And they said, "Oh, are you a millionaire?" And said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, how do you rate your success?" And he was kind of like a journalist, and he said, "Look, that's an interesting question. Let's go and get into that." And they interviewed the most successful people in every industry, from A to Z, from astronaut to zookeeper, and said, what makes you a success? What do you do? And they analysed the transcripts for word patterns, and the number one word that came out from every profession was passion. So if you've got a passion for what you do, and you can find people that have got that passion, you can see that little twinkle in their eye, and you think, that's something I can work with, because you can train people to do all the other stuff. If they've got that enthusiasm and they're willing to learn, then you can give them the support that then takes them on that journey to the next, even if they're not quite sure what they wanted to, because if they're open to change, that's when the magic happens, because I'm not anywhere near a race team, that's what I wanted to do when I was 18, and now I'm selling oil seals, which I didn't expect. But again, it's been a cool journey, but you've had to move with that change, and, I've done a lot of work in terms of, education as well, and I just try and pass that on to the crew that work for me.
Do you think as an industry, we're doing enough to make our industry attractive to people from the outside? One of the areas I did want to talk to you about and focus on is the allied sectors, because obviously, you're working in car and commercial vehicle, but there are a lot of other aftermarkets out there. So, off-highway, marine, even the building and construction industry mirrors, what the aftermarket's about. It's got its producers, it's got its distributors, it's got its buying groups. What could we do to make our industry more appealing, to people that kind of know little about it?
I think it's realising that there's an opportunity. I mean, you can't really sugarcoat the industry. It is what it is. It's not the banking sector or something like that. So you're not going to be in glass-plated buildings and that kind of environment. But it's what I like about the motor trade is it is very down to earth, and it gives opportunity to people. I didn't go to university or anything. This is an opportunity for me to develop a career effectively through bit of graft, and just being prepared to go on that journey, learn new things, and apply those skills. And anybody can do that if they've got that passion and enthusiasm. So I think that's the thing that we really need to do as an industry, is say, look, this is a really cool opportunity, because not everybody, comes out of school, knowing what they want to do, or see that, oh yeah, I want to be a doctor or a dentist. No, those people are super lucky if they know what they want. There's a lot of people out there that don't. And if they say, well, okay, well, I didn't go to university, or I'm not sure what I want to do. There's an opportunity in this industry. Well, let's say if you can put in the graft, be enthusiastic, be willing to learn, then there's a home, and there is opportunity. I think that's maybe what we need to sell a little bit better to either schools or colleges or whatever, to say, this is a cool opportunity.
Yeah. As a business, what type of support do you give to your employees? From an onboarding to a training capacity and an ongoing, sort of potential career path?
So, I mean, we're lucky. We have an incredibly strong HR team globally, particularly in the UK. And they give you a lot of guidance in terms of, there's onboarding. We do a lot of training. We have a online system that we use to train employees. So once they're in that system, then they can go and do an absolute plethora of different online learning, either in their own time or during work time. There's certain criteria they have to fulfill. Some trainings that we do, which are kind of mandatory. So at Freudenberg, a big part of what we do is the guiding principles, which were actually written down by Carl Freudenberg back in 175 years ago. And they're still very valid today, and we expect all of our employees to know, not verbatim, but you need to know what those guiding principles are. So we do a lot of training around that, and then a lot of, let's say, compliance and quality and health and safety, and just in terms of a lot of hygiene factors in terms of the way that you conduct yourself at work as well. That's why when and I know we spoke about this during the recruitment phase, is that cultural fit is super important for us as well. We're still a family-owned company, and it is a little bit different here than other organisations that may be owned by, the stock market listed or owned by a pension fund or whatever. But that's cool. That you do really feel that you're part of a family when you work here. So it's important that you've got people that can embrace that kind of philosophy. But training is something that we will encourage all of our employees, and I'd say Freudenberg are very good at doing that in terms of recognizing, some people just want to come in and just do a job. And if you want to do that, that's fine. They'll support you doing that. If you want to be the CEO, great. They'll support you to do that as well. The temperature will rise the higher you go, but that you have that ability to rise as high as you can get to, and they'll support you in doing that.
Can you share with us any, sort of plans, without giving away any trade secrets, that you've got happening in the future? Any initiatives that you guys have got in the pipeline?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things that we're doing as a business unit within Freudenberg. So we've got this new program that we're having in terms of developing future leaders. So that's like a concept phase right now, but again, it's about attracting new talent and seeing people that we can then develop over time to have a career ladder into these leadership roles. And then in terms of what we're doing from a business perspective, you were talking about the other allied industries. I mean, Freudenberg's an incredibly diverse company. But I'd say one of the opportunities that we have within our business unit is to develop those aftermarkets as well. So we're looking to get more involved in recreation, so two-wheel, so motorcycle, mountain bike, the agricultural sector, heavy-duty sector as well, and construction, bus, coach, anything. Marine, so marine is another one that we're messing around with at the moment as well. So there's a lot of really cool things that we've got our eyes on, and people are out there doing a lot of what we call like pioneer work. Just turning over a few stones and seeing, right, okay, could we do something with that or make a kit for that? So we're trying to learn about the industry, and again, a lot of that comes down to individuals' enthusiasm and passion, all the things that we've been talking about, for them to say, right, I'm just going to go out and just cold call this person and just, what do you do? How do you do it? How can we support? What kind of products are there? You don't always, find the acorn, but eventually, if you keep looking, it will turn up. So that's what we're doing at the moment.
Certainly. So, as a message then, as a gent that's kind of moved through the ranks at, I'd say, quite a rate of knots when we initially met all those years ago, and to where you are now, if you've got any message for anybody sort of considering or contemplating the aftermarket, for a career, what would you say to them?
Well, number one, don't be afraid, because it's if you've got, just have belief in yourself that if you've got that, if you've got the right attitude, that will take you a long way. You just got to come up with the goods, and I'd say just make sure that you work tirelessly on improving yourself in terms of your formal qualifications. Read anything that you can get your hands on, like from a business perspective. Try and learn as much as you can about different aspects of the business. Particularly like me, if you're like in sales, you're driving around in your car all day. Turn off Spotify, or at least get some audio books. Try and educate yourself. Use that time effectively. Don't just sit there listening to Radio 2. I'm sure Radio 2 is fantastic. But, you can use your time effectively to improve your knowledge, and that's going to help you develop over that career. But enthusiasm, passion, these are the things that are key. Everything else you can learn. You can get in a book. You've just got to apply yourself. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I mean, as sort of as you said, a lot of characters have retired off and disappeared. Now we're the next generation of characters, and for the last 20 years, it's been a pleasure working with you, Steve. And you. Thanks very much for inviting us to Cortico today and talking to us a little bit about the culture here and what you see in the future. Thank you.
No, thank you.